Sabina and Eric had been married for 4 years in the heart of Houston. In the beginning, they were the perfect example of how opposites attract. Eric was meticulous, a man who believed everything had a specific place. Sabina, however, was a free spirit, leaving a trail of her life wherever she went. At first, Eric found her messiness charming. He would laugh at stray socks found in the kitchen and smile at the colorful explosion of makeup across the bathroom sink. It was the honeymoon phase, where every flaw felt like a quirky detail of the woman he loved. But as the years passed, those small quirks began to lose their luster, transforming into seeds of daily frustration. One specific habit bothered Eric more than any other. During her period, Sabina would leave, use sanitary pads wrapped loosely on the bedroom floor or beside the bed. To Sabina, it was just a temporary lapse in tidiness. To Eric, it felt like a blatant sign of disrespect for their shared space. The tension simmered beneath the surface for months. He tried to complain gently, then he tried to ignore it, but the sight of those pads became a symbol of a deeper disconnect. He felt as though his comfort in his own home was secondary to her convenience. The stage was set for a confrontation that would shake the very foundation of their marriage. One evening, after a grueling day at work, Eric walked into the bedroom and saw a used pad sitting right next to the laundry basket. He snapped, "Sabina, this is getting ridiculous," he shouted. Sabina rolled her eyes, her voice dripping with dismissal. "It is not that serious, Eric. You are overreacting." His frustration finally exploded. "Every time I talk about what bothers me, you dismiss it like I do not matter." Sabina folded her arms, firing back. "And every time, you act like I am the worst wife in the world over a tiny mistake." The argument turned ugly fast. Years of bottled-up resentment poured out in a flood of accusations. "You never listen," Eric yelled. "And you always criticize me," Sabina screamed. By midnight, the house was silent, but the air was heavy. They lay on opposite sides of the bed, a vast, cold canyon between them. The next morning, Eric left for work without a single word, leaving the silence to echo in the empty rooms. Left alone, Sabina cried in the bathroom, the weight of the silence finally hitting her. She realized for the first time that Eric was not actually angry about the mess. He was exhausted from feeling invisible. Seeking clarity, she called her aunt. After listening to the sob story, her aunt asked one piercing question. "Do you want to be right, or do you want peace in your marriage?" Sabina went silent. Her aunt continued, "Marriage is not just destroyed by big betrayals. Sometimes it is the repeated small behaviors that make someone feel completely unvalued." That sentence hit Sabina like a physical blow. She realized Eric had been trying to communicate his need for consideration for years, and she had labeled it as nagging. That night, Eric returned to a spotless apartment. Sabina was waiting at the dining table. "I owe you an apology," she said softly, her eyes filling with tears. "I thought you were attacking me, but you were actually asking me to care about what matters to you." Eric's anger vanished instantly. He sat down and admitted he should have spoken with more patience, instead of letting resentment build a wall between them. At that table, their problem became smaller than their love. Over time, they both changed. Sabina became mindful, and Eric became gentler. They learned that love is not just about big romantic gestures. Sometimes the deepest form of love sounds like, "I remember this because I know it matters to you." Their marriage grew stronger, built on the respect of the small things that make a person feel truly seen,